Hey folks, welcome to the channel. Today we're in YNAB. We're just going to be going over the weekly spending. So I already have it up, but I forgot to make it large. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's try that. Okay, so I'm starting off in the transactions that occurred in my checking account because that's the only place that I'm spending money right now. I'm not using my credit cards, so it's all coming right here. We last met on, I think, the 21st. Yeah, the 21st. So what I have purchased since then, I did go out and get the second monitor, which makes things a lot easier for work and for doing these recordings as well. Lots of food expenses. This weekend I did go to the pumpkin patch with my daughter and two grandsons, so the expenses for the farm and for Bojangles is from that trip. The other thing is that, again, a lot of food expenses this month. Yeah, it's just things are things. I'm just needing a lot of stuff. I can't explain it. The other thing is I have been expecting a tax refund from the state I live in, and it is in my account. It hasn't cleared yet, but it's in there, and it should clear tomorrow. So that's real exciting. I actually could use that $200 to pay for the monitor that I bought, right? Which I spent $231 on. That's a little bit over budget, but as I mentioned in my Budget by Paycheck workbook, it was a little bit of an upgrade from what I was thinking about getting, but it was a pretty good deal, so that's why I got it. It was on sale. So those are the spending that I've done this week. I have cleared some of them, but not all of them. I have not assigned the $200 yet. We'll do that together. And when I went to the grocery store yesterday, I just have not had a chance to get in and cover that overspending. So for YNAB, when you don't come in and resolve the transactions that occur, the spending or the money that comes in, it kind of just lets you know what you need to do in the application. So I guess we should first maybe handle the overspending, which of course is going to be food because of my trip yesterday. I did have a little bit of money in there, but not 133. And I went to Walmart because I know that the prices there are cheaper, and I would say 90% of everything I bought was the off-brand to try and handle some of these overspending that I've done on food. And everything I bought was food related. So just trying to think about how I can reduce the spending there. I think I will be doing more Walmart than some of the more convenient places to go, and I will be getting the off-brands. One of the things that I really like from Walmart is they have the Amy's brand meals, which are so good. So I did pick up like half a dozen or so of those, which will be my dinners. Although I did pick up some ground beef. I picked up 2 pounds, and it was, oh my gosh, I think it was $17 for 2 pounds of ground beef. Hold on. I was like, what is going on? Yeah, $16.57 for 2 pounds of ground beef. Yeah, I think chicken's probably still a little bit cheaper these days, but I'm kind of chickened out because I bought a big pack of frozen, they weren't frozen when I bought them, but I put them in the freezer from not Sam's, BJ's. It's like a huge pack of individually sealed chicken breasts. It actually, the seal had 3 chicken breasts in it. So I've been eating a lot of chicken, and so I'm just kind of tired of chicken. That's why I got the beef. And for that, actually last night I made some taco pie, which was really good, and then I pattied up some hamburgers because I had some leftover buns from when I had pork barbecue last week. So in any case, the point is I'm trying to be a little bit more conscientious about what I'm buying and how much I'm spending because things are just so costly. Let's go ahead and I am going to just go ahead and cover this. I do not need to get groceries. I say that. I shouldn't need to get groceries until I get paid again. So I'm just going to cover the amount that's over. Oops. And I'll just cover it from ready to assign. Okay. So that covers that overspending. And there was other overspending this week, but I've just gone ahead and worked on it during the week. I'm trying to think what it was that I overspent. Give me a second and I'll probably, I think obviously the goods and supplies. No, that was not. It was the electronics. I had to cover that, and I covered that from my set aside funds because I used to have a lot more than this. I think it was around $700 in here, and I pulled money from this into the, oh, I hate the way this slides, into the electronics to pay for this. You know what I also did? As I was in here, I was thinking, I need to go ahead and start adding some things in here that I know are going to come up. Although I don't know why I put this in here. I probably don't need to do this yet. Now I'm just going to leave it there. I started applying money into some of the sort of sinking fund type accounts because at the end of this month, it's not like the debt that I have, while I want to pay it off very soon and try to be focused on that, I'm not going to be as hyper-focused as I have been. I'm going to go ahead and start putting money into the things that I know that are expenses that are coming. I think I'm just going to, I'll work on this, but not this month. So I'm going to put that back in ready to assign. But what I did do was I went ahead and started putting some money into some of these sinking funds. So right now I have $400 in this, but what I'd like to do is, oops, not that one, the memberships and subscriptions. So the ones that I know are coming up in January, I went ahead and assigned what I needed to be on track for having the money available when January hit. The same thing with BJ's. It's coming up in February, so I added what YNAB told me was a good amount of money to have right now in order to have the money by February. I even put in Amazon Prime, which is not due for almost a whole year. So I have been working on adding money for those things that I know are coming. So let's look at some of these. So these are some of the things that I would also like to look at and try to bolster a little bit, but the amounts are pretty big right now. And I do have 134. So let's go back up here. I was looking at this. So this is, I think this is why I went ahead and put that $26. I thought it was a good thing to be able to add there, and it's not going to put a huge dent in all of the money that is available to spend. So I think I am just going to put it back there. So I can do that just by clicking on this and then going over here and hitting assign on the right. So I'll just go ahead and put it back in there. I took it out and then I put it back in. Yep. Just working it out here with you guys. What else? So now I still have $107 left to assign. I think maybe come in here and see what I can cover here. Now, I've already paid for the feline leukemia, which is what I knew I was going to have to pay, and was focused on that for a minute. But I think the biggest thing now that I'm facing is probably the vehicle maintenance and repair, because in December, and of course Christmas, in December I have the inspection, the oil change, and most likely tires. Now, I believe I looked up tires, and now I can't remember how much I thought it was going to be. I actually looked up how much replacement tires for my car were. They weren't as expensive as you think. So maybe $800. And I think I put in the amount that I wanted here. Based on, that's not what I wanted. This is the one I wanted. Based on, no, I think this was just what I think I should have in case something goes wrong. In case something goes drastically wrong with my car and I need to repair it, I said I was going to put $2,000 in there, but that wasn't for specifically tires. I think $200 or $300 a tire is more than adequate. Maybe just $800 to $1,000. So I think I'll put it in here, just knowing that that's going to come, and I'm not really sure how much it is. I'll have to redo my research on how much my tires cost, because that is like completely gone from my head. 107. Let's just put. Should I put all of it? I suppose so. Yeah, 107.92. And then that makes me feel a little bit better about having this money. And I do need to start thinking about Christmas too, but maybe next month I'll be able to drop a little bit more. I mean, next month is October. October and November are going to have to be almost totally focused on gifting and the cars, because I know that's coming. Okay, so as far as what I have spent this week, that's pretty much it. And I've reassigned that $200. I would like to show what's going on in October. I have already assigned some money for a couple of things that I know I have expenses for in October. Notably half of the mortgage, and I can assign half of something by clicking on here, and I'm pretty sure this is part of the toolkit. I don't think this is delivered by YNAB. So all I did was I came over here last week or the week before, and I just said fund half. And I'm doing this because once again, October, the first paycheck of my month is going to be really tight, because all of my expenses and all of the spending that I have to do is landing in that space before I get my middle of the month paycheck in October. So I just need to make sure I have some money forward in order to cover some of those costs, which is it's fine. I was happy to get that tax rebate because, again, things are tight, and really it's all about, a lot of it is about the food. But I'm not 100% convinced that that's all of it, because I feel like there are some other expenses that have creeped up, and I'm just not paying attention because the food just seems like it's so in my face. But once I close out the month, I'll be able to tell that pretty much right away. I'll be able to kind of pinpoint where things went sideways this month. So mortgage, I put half, and then the other one that I put half on was all the way at the bottom, the Roth, right? So I put this half and the mortgage because those are kind of the two biggest ones. And then what YNAB does is when you're saving for something, when you're setting aside money, like right, it says $17, it just keeps this as a kind of a buffer in your account. And so it's available there when you're ready to spend it. It's not like a savings. That's what I have here. This is like your savings account, and you can see 418. Oh, I've got to move. I have to move a little bit of money over to my savings account now because I just made that. I just added that money in. If I go back to September, I just put extra money into this right here. So I need to just account for that and move money from my checking account into my savings account. And that'll be reconciled next time we meet. It'll reflect the actual balance. This balance here will equal this. And that's how I know what's set aside for some of the bigger expenses that I know come in the year. Okay, that should pretty much be it for today. I don't really have any, there's no one, all of these underfunded, I already know that they're underfunded. I just don't have the funds to put in there right now. Money available, this is all the money that I've set aside to pay for something. And as you can see, it's just what's in the budget for spending, right? Yep. Overfunded, I do think I have some, personal. And then of course the HELOC is really, this I set aside because, oh yes, I did forget to talk about this. The company who owns that HELOC, they are just not very good at communicating what I'm actually supposed to be paying. When I secured the HELOC, I was informed that the first payment would be in October, and it would be around $400. And that was based on the full amount of disbursement, which was that $50-some thousand. I was assuming I would keep that too. The portal, sorry about that, the portal reflects that I have an automatic draft coming in on the 29th, which is tomorrow, of $404. The emails that I've received has said that, hold on a second, I have an automatic draft coming for $35 on 10/29. So I don't know what's right. I haven't received an email saying an automatic. Oh gosh, it's so confusing. Everything that's, yes, I did receive on Friday I received an email saying there'll be an automatic draft on the 29th for $404. I go to the portal and the first thing I see is that I only owe $35 and it's not coming out till next month. But then I open up the details and the details say that the next draft will be $404 on September 29th. So it's everything is just, nothing matches is what I'm saying. But I did receive the email, so I had the expectation that yes, they're going to pull $404 out of my account. And I have the draft set up because it gives me a 0.25% discount on the interest rate, which I think is worth it. I think once we get past this first month, that I'm just unsure about what I'm supposed to be paying, it'll be better. And also, since they've sold the line of credit to U.S. Bank, U.S. Bank will take over that. And I already have a U.S. Bank account, so I know what their portal looks like, and it's pretty spot on. So I think once we get out of that, I won't feel so uneasy about what it is I'm supposed to be paying and what is actually going to be drafted from my account. If they don't pay the $404, I'll probably just leave it there and go ahead and pay it, because I really want to put a little extra money this month into that particular loan to pull it down, because I am paying interest on it and I want to just avoid that as much as possible. And the other thing is, so when that amount comes out, what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to split it, because I want to put the amount that actually goes towards the balance of the loan here. And then the other part, I am going to put, give me a second, it's up here in, pretty sure it's in variables. Here it is. So of the $404, if they actually pull it out tomorrow, once it clears, I'm going to go into the portal, and I'm going to look at the amount that was received by the company, and I'm going to see what was posted to the principal. And I'm also going to add another split line item that shows me, and I'm going to put the amount that goes towards the principal in here, and then I'm going to put the bank fees over here, because this, putting it in here won't reduce my my balance, and this is just it's an expense. It's not really going towards the balance on this. So I do want to split that to see how much I pay in interest this year. Hopefully that'll work out. I don't know if it will for sure, but that's how I want to do it. And we'll just adjust if it ends up going sideways. And just as an example, here's a place where I split it. So this is the actual spending, $144, but the categories that it went to are split between the goods and supplies and the food. And that's what I'll do with this. One part of it will be, I think I might have even done that to another credit card payment. Hold on a second. Let me see if I can find one. Give me a second. I feel like it's in here. I thought it was in here. Maybe not. Okay. It's fine. I might not be able to do it, because looking at this is that credit card payment of 47. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. I really do want to know how much of it was interest and how much was towards the principal, but I may not be able to cover that. It just may be the nature of this, because I don't think I can split this. Nope. Not as far as I know. Yeah. Okay. Well, if anybody knows if I can do that, because I've been getting a lot of great tips from you guys who have been in YNAB for a while. Basically, when I make the payments to this, what part goes towards interest and what part goes towards the principal. Yeah, let me know. I mean, I'm going to try it out. I'm going to see if it will work because it's really just a transfer. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I think that's it. I know that was a little bit jumbled. I think that's pretty much it. The next video that will be coming out will be, today is the 28th. I do have a paycheck that's coming in on Tuesday, so I'll go ahead and post a YNAB ready to be assigned video on Tuesday. I'll take care of that then. And as I mentioned in the Budget by Paycheck workbook, the ready to assign is sort of like the monthly setup in the Budget by Paycheck. So when I record the video that shows the month of October, the assignment is pretty much just like that, only digitally, with the money that's actually come in. So that's how that works. And that should do it. So I will talk to you then.